almost like Assassin's Creed Black Flag. It's looking like, but not gonna keep it. Pokemon cards, I think. Gift card. Bottle. Ooh, Mario. Oh, it's not even nice. A little Mario something. I don't know what would have been in there, but. Wait. First rubber band. Wait, I gotta do it. I gotta try. It's so hard to come on. Rubber band squad. Heck yeah, nice. Loving it. Gotta get rid of this. Small papers in here for sure. I always go to the bottom of the bag though, just because you never know what you can find. It could be money, they can be SD cards, DS games. Could be batteries, which I do keep, like I've been saying. Some more batteries. And if they don't work, I'll just recycle them properly anyway. So it's a win-win situation. Helping the earth out by taking them out of regular trash and recycling them properly at like battery banks and stuff like they have around stores and whatnot. And if they do work, I keep them. So, see, this is why. This is why you always go to the bottom of the bag right here. Xbox 360 battery pack. Looks like there's some acid in there, but the contacts look pretty shiny, not too bad. Most likely works unless the button's jammed, but no, seems to be working fine. This probably works. That was great fine. And I'm probably just gonna say that's it because literally wasn't allowed to for quite some time. But either way, let's check out what was found tonight. But before we do, I just want to say it feels great to be back. Thank you all so much for watching, liking the videos if you do like them.
Is between streams, I've done a little bit of organizational work. You'll notice that this is a little different to how we left off at the end of the last episode, or the last stream. And I've also done a little bit more resource gathering between streams as well, because of the fact that the resource gathering is a little bit tedious, right? Getting the pickaxes and then just hitting the wall like this over and over and over again for like 15, 20, 30, 40 minutes, an hour, depending on how much stuff you want to get. And so I moved the sawmill inside. This used to be out in like this overworld area here, and there wasn't really anything wrong with it being out in the overworld, but I think it just works better in here. I don't like having to move around so much, and I'm not a huge fan of having to dip out into the super dark overworld area. So I moved the sawmill into here, and the secondary benefit of putting it next to the chest is that if we go ahead and swap this to orange, it's going to go ahead and automatically output any sawdust and any oak wood planks directly into the chest, so hopefully it doesn't get backed up quite as fast. I did also get a ton of these bonsai oak cuttings, and I've been processing those slowly but surely into more oak wood planks, so that we hopefully have enough oak wood to get us through today's episode. And then on top of that, the other main thing that I've been doing outside of a little bit of pickaxe smashing is a fair bit of wheat farming. So one nifty little trick that I did discover is that there's no limit to how fast you can use the watering can. And what I mean by that is if you, normally what I do is I like just hold down right click and it kind of just waters. But if you rapidly right click, it burns through it quite quick. And from my days of sifting in like Skyblock mod packs, I do have a macro setting that right clicks very quickly. And so if I press that, you see the watering can just burns through all of its water ridiculously fast, and the wheat grows quite a fair bit. Now, if you do that on water, so if I stand here and then I shift to get the growth boost from shifting, and I right-click on the water source, these things grow super, super quick, right? These grow nice and fast. You can go ahead and break those like this. Then you can go do the same thing again. You can just right-click really, really quickly to get the wheat to grow nice and fast. This does only work in a 3x3 area around the center block, so actually it's only these 2 bits of wheat that are getting the super boost, that is, from the watering can. And I think in an ideal world, if you want to make this as fast as possible, you would have the unlimited water source back in the middle. The reason that we moved this is because if you have furnaces above wheat, then the wheat won't grow. So you do have to have open space above the wheat for it to grow. But I think what we might end up doing today is moving these furnaces into another machine, potentially even into their own machine, or maybe just into the main machine with the crafting station, and then moving the water back in the middle so that we can get a nice rapid growth on the 3x3 area. One thing to bear in mind is that you do need to stand back. When I first started this, I was kind of standing here and doing it, and every single time when I pooped, my poop would go right into the water, and I'd lose that water to sewage, which of course isn't what you want, right? So, but this does make it very, very easy to get quite a large amount of wheat. You'll see this stuff grows crazy fast when you're doing this. And so between episodes, I have gone ahead and managed to get almost 2 stacks of wheat here, which is hopefully going to come in extremely useful into today's episode. Not only because you can make bread out of it, but I think more importantly, you can make more poop. Right? We can make the pulped bioblend. We can put that pulped bioblend into sewage and then get more poop out of it. And that poop is going to be especially useful for making more sewage, because hopefully by the end of today's stream, we will have a 5x5x5 compact machine. So hopefully we'll have a lot more storage space than we currently have. To get that compact machine, we of course need to get more compact machine wall, easy enough. Another block of machine casing, super easy at this point. And then 4 tiny machine pieces, and these are made in the metal press from Immersive Engineering with a tiny compact machine. So we're doing 4 more tiny compact machines to do that. But the key part is that Immersive Engineering is required, and Immersive Engineering is kind of built quite heavily around this stuff right here, treated wood. It says treat it however you want, but do make an engineer's workbench with it. Now, I did look at how we make treated wood. Normally, this is done with creosote oil. However, I didn't notice it in the last screen because these buckets look very similar, but this recipe here is creosote oil. This recipe down here is sewage, or sewage. And so, if we get a bucket of sewage and we surround it with any kind of planks, we get 8 treated wood planks. We can then use those treated wood planks to make an engineer's workbench, or more importantly, we can also use it to make that metal press, and then finally get more room. The quest is even called Finally More Room, and I cannot wait. We do also have to do some stuff with sugarcane, but we'll get to that in a second. And so, first things first, bucket of sewage, planks, boom, boom, treated wood, acquired. Now, in order to make the workbench, this guy right here, we need 1 crafting table, some treated wooden fence, and then those treated planks. And that shouldn't really, I don't think, be too difficult. It also is probably a good idea for me to start pulverizing this wheat now. We're pulverizing the wheat down, of course, or not pulverizing, I should say, sawmilling the wheat down into that pulped bioblend so we can make more poop going forward, because I think we are going to have to treat more wood in just a second here. But let's go ahead and see about crafting up the treated wooden fences. Make sure to use the calculator mod thingy. Ooh, of course, there is a quest down here in chapter 1. Which one is it? It's this one. But at what cost? The crafting calculator. How expensive is that to make? It requires not a ton. We do need black dye, which I'm not quite sure if we can get that yet. We do have stone of any kind, redstone, iron, and then black dye. I do think you can make this, yeah, with the fluid to item transformation, but I don't know if we can get pulverized charcoal just yet, right? Like, that's not a thing we can do. I think we did look before, and charcoal is seemingly quite difficult. Obviously, in a normal game, you do it with logs, and we do have a regular oak sapling in here, but given the compact nature of our setup, we can't obviously grow a full tree, right? So I don't know how easy that's going to be to do. We can get lapis through sifting gravel, and then you can also get cactus green with dandelion yellow. And for some reason, I do have in my head that we do have yellow dye somewhere, maybe? Although maybe not, maybe I'm mistaken there. And you can also, of course, smelt cactus. But again, I don't think we have what it takes to make cactus just yet. So I'm not quite sure if we can actually make this. It is quite possible that we could get like a squinter spawn in. Someone did mention cactus seeds, which could be a thing. Oh yeah, okay, so you can, alright, so you can get cactus seeds from sifting dirt, which you can then of course grow on sand into cactus. You can then smelt the cactus into cactus green, combine that with the lapis you get from sifting gravel to make the cyan, and then use the cyan with the calculator. Okay, I think that is how that's supposed to work. Now, we do have quite a bit of dirt dust, and so actually that might be very doable. Yeah, before that though, let me go and finish what I started here. Let's get the workbench like so. Memory serves me right, it's you, and we need one more of these planks, which does mean we need a little bit more in the way of storage. So if we take one of our good old-fashioned cooks here, and head on over to the farming area, I think the easiest way for us to do that is something like this. There we go, perfect. And then back in the overworld, we can just put that in here, kapow, and then 1, 2, 3, crafting table, and fence gets us the workbench. Nice! And I think for now we'll put it in our empty compact machine over here, like that. So we're going to need this to make quite a few things. One of the things that we can make, I think right off the bat, is potentially a garden cloche. This very powerful compacted greenhouse is an amazing thing to grow almost anything in, as long as it's small enough. Sadly, they're quite big, so don't count the blocks. Oh, do these take up 4 blocks, Chet, in height? Can I not use these yet? Do I have to wait until I get a bigger machine, or do they fit in a 3x3 area? I'm not too sure. It does require a vacuum tube, which requires the engineer's blueprint, which does require some more of that lapis there, steel plate and paper. I do think we're going to have to make a compactor from thermal expansion to get those steel plates. We could always, actually, I guess we could do this after we get the metal press, unless the metal press itself also requires plates, in which case we would have to make the compactor anyway. I'm not quite sure if that is the case though. But now, if we do want to get over to the metal press, which is this quest in the middle, we also have to come in from this side, complete the sugary goodness quest, which says, who doesn't like this stuff? There's a few ways to get it, using your newly acquired sieve, or just rummaging through another type of coarse dirt. So we can sift for it, or we can coarse dirt for it. It does seem like the coarse dirt has the higher chance, 15% versus 5. So I think I'm probably going to go that way. That also gets us those beet seeds, which I don't think we necessarily need just yet, but that does give us the option of getting, I think it's like red dye, fairly soon. So, yeah, let's go ahead and grab some dirt. We do have gravel dust hiding out in here as well. And so if we just do something like this, and like that, gets some coarse dirt, I think 4 should be fine. Because again, I think much like, actually, I assume the coarse dirt, unlike the normal dirt, will turn into farmland, and then when you break it, it turns into normal dirt. Because we're effectively hoeing it, right? Yeah, so you don't, unlike normal dirt, you can't pick this up and then put it back down. Normally we, just pick it up, put it back down, hoe it again, and over and over and over again until we got what we were after. But with the coarse dirt, we cannot do that, unfortunately. But we did already get the sugarcane seeds that we're after. Also, this one took forever to turn into actual dirt here, which is very nice. So now we just need some sand, and thankfully we do have a fair bit of cobblestone ready to go, so hammering that down into sand shouldn't take too long. And yeah, these are really nice and easy to come by. Okay, so we are out of food. I think just temporarily I will grab some more bread here, although I do think that's maybe a little bit of a waste of our wheat, especially given that we can use that wheat in the form of pulped biomass to get more poop, and the poop is just a factually better food source, despite the fact that it is absolutely disgusting, right? So, yeah, the pulped bioblend in the storage gets you the poop there. So, we've got this one bit of poop. I think we can get quite a bit more over here, right? So we drop this in, like so. We then drop this in. Yeah. Did we did test this, right? I think it was the case that we couldn't use this in like the flowing water bit. Like this doesn't work right if I try and do that. Yeah, no, it has to go into the sauce block and consume it. Okay. In which case, it makes more sense to just do that in here. Just go 1, 2. Oh. You gotta be careful though, because, I mean, that let's move this. Like I said, I think I want to move these furnaces anyway. Yeah, that kind of works out perfectly actually, because then we can just do that. It'll also turn back into sewage, and then we can just do it again. I guess we can just stand here actually, right? And get all of the poop our heart desires. Look at that, perfect. 16 poop, ready to go. It's a perfect food source, and it also helps us with. I guess we don't need this now, but I can pick that up for treated wood. But it works really well for fuel as well. You know, we can make this poop fuel if we want to smelt more. That's also probably something we should be doing right now, actually, is maybe smelting some more iron up, because we did use pretty much all of our iron in the last episode, trying to get just as much steel as possible with the old TNT. So for now, we'll go ahead and we'll put some in there. I think we should also probably get some like copper, maybe going in the other furnace. I think immersive engineering does use a fair bit of copper as well, so we'll put that in like so. So now, where were we? We can make these. We can try and get these cactus seeds. I think I put my sieve away. I did indeed. Let me just quickly check that we do get this with the string mesh. We do indeed. So yeah, let's sift some dirt, shall we, and see if we can't get a cactus seed. At which point we'll try and get some sand, and we'll actually we might have a cactus seed because we have sifted some dirt before. No, it doesn't look like we do, unfortunately. But yeah, once we have this, we'll get the sand. We'll start growing both the sugarcane and the cactus, probably in the same area as the engineer's workbench, and then from there we can move on and hopefully get this metal press fairly easily. It doesn't look too hard to make. And there we go. Look at that cactus seeds. Perfect. Alright, so I'll finish off the last bit of sifting here, and I think once again I'll just pick up. Oh, it looks nice. We'll just pick this back up to free up some space. I do also, I think at some point in today's stream, we want to set up those strong boxes. I did look at the quest. There is a quest over here in chapter 1 that wants us to make a strong box. And it's not too bad. You know what, let's make one real quick here. I also think it's probably not going to be too hot. We have the tin. We do not. We're a little light on tin. Okay, I'm going to come back to that before the end of today's stream, because I do want to upgrade these, I think, to a higher tier, because we could make one double chest, but they're taking up so much space, you know, so quickly that I don't think it's necessarily worth it. Instead, let's grab some dirt, some cobblestone even, which you do get from sifting dirt, which is a nice byproduct. But thankfully we do have extra from my previous hammerings. We don't actually need that much sand, right? We only need like maybe 2 or 3 to do all of the cactus and. Now, I think that you do get the cactus right away when you put this down, right? Yeah, we should probably let that grow so we don't have to sift for more going forward. Now, the sugarcane, on the other hand, does require water, right? So it might be a better idea for now, at least, to put that in over here. Maybe we should replace this front line of wheat temporarily with the old sand. Like that. Oh, the watering can works on the cactus in this pack. Oh, nice. Okay, I'll give that a try in just a second here. Does it also work with the sugarcane? Oh, it totally does. Look at that. Nice. Okay. So we can do that fairly easily. I guess at that point, we should maybe move the cactus in here. Right? Although we don't actually need that much cactus, right? So if we do this, it gets us an extra piece. Yeah, perfect. Look at that. Beautiful. Alright, we have 2 extra little bits of cactus. So now, we do need to smelt 1 bit of cactus. Gosh, my inventory is getting so full. Let's take that tin dust and start smelting that up in here as well. In fact, I think I'm going to set like this here as my entry point. And I'm going to start putting furnaces in here as opposed to in the farming area. It feels like it makes very little sense to have them in here. Right? But yeah, we'll take this out. We'll put you in. Get that smelting away there. Because we need the space. We are running out of inventory space real fast. And then over here, we'll do a similar thing with the cactus. We'll start smelting that up. And for now, I'll just throw that on the ground and maybe try and dump some of my inventory in here. Because it's just so full of everything. There we go, okay. Yeah, 24 and 35, that should be okay, I think, actually. We might have to smelt up some steel grit. That's pretty pretty sure that's going to be needed today as well. Let me just quickly check there's not like a more efficient way of doing that. I don't think there is, at least not just yet. So we should now actually have that quest over here completed. We have indeed Sugary Goodness. Next up we have Prestov. Also Prestov or Prestov is the German language term for a type of aerostats or artificial leather used during the first half of the 20th century, made of specialty element.